Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today's going to be a Divine Masculine reading, but I'm just going to check into the connections at this time and see what they're up to, what we need to see, and some food for thought for the day. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for these connections? What are each of the counterparts experiencing at this developmental stage in the collective consciousness becoming on the planet? Feminines on the left, connection space, masculines on the right, and energy going into the future. All right, so what I'm seeing here is I just heard a final grieving of the old lives, and that's all these spilt cups here. The two will be left standing. We're getting that message a lot in the recent readings. I'm going to clarify all of these. Feminines have a tower, an internal restructuring. I'm hearing that something that has occurred in the connections recently has caused the feminines to have to, I just saw 111, radically reframe what they've been telling themselves. Even if they have believed in union, feminines have still had some constructs that are along the lines of thinking that the external masculine had more control over what's possible here. Ironically, it seems like there's been some kind of a reflection in the connection that's caused the feminines to realize how much energetic clout their belief really does have with manifesting these things. And so there's this internal accountability, adjustment, recognition for the feminines that we can stay the course with this manifestation. I'm seeing a rock climber getting a firm handhold or a firm footing, going up a tentative sort of part of the climb, and that this is like a new found comfort within that kind of a heralding experience. That's what I'm getting there. So the feminines are realizing that they have a lot more say in union than they once suspected. I'm going to clarify that one right now while we're here. So what can we get for the internal tower for the feminines regarding manifestation in these connections? So what I'm getting first off with this grieving card is the feminines were letting themselves subtly buy into these grief stories that maybe love wasn't for them in this lifetime. Maybe these unions weren't going to come in, all that kind of thing. But let's see, what was the turning point here? Oh, wow. The same Five of Cups. So what I'm getting here is that the feminines have realized that they manifest certain things, or they have the free will to either look at the connection through the eyes of grief or to keep spinning it into some other more ascended, love-filled potential. We always have the free will to say enough is enough. I'm done. I don't want to continue stepping out of my comfort zone and believing in love, persevering any further. And so feminines have seen that they've had a choice point where they could have, especially in this most recent energy of the full moon and the intensity with the retrogrades and everything. Feminines, I was in the same boat too. I think there's a moment where you think, I just really want off this train. And I'm seeing though that something shifted, and well, here we go again. We came around another bend and it's downhill for a little bit there, or in a good way, like coasting, like catching the breath. So yeah, it's like, I'm going to get one more clarifier for that. Actually, I'm going to get something from the Erotic Tarot and see what the intimacy edge is here with this kind of internal tower. Queen of Shells. So that's the Queen of Cups. So there's a psychic, intuitive, deep internal personal edge that the feminines tapped into, where they were like, oh, I've been having a self-defeating or a pessimistic, sad, depressed, hopeless, giving up, powerless take on. I just heard, I'm human. I had a human moment. And that's like, whoa, 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 self. We don't have to have a human moment. We can remember we're divine. It's that kind of a changeover where it goes from, wait a second, I'm believing the hype of the physical incarnation again. And then instantaneously saying, I can remember the ascended viewpoint. Interesting. Okay, so for the masculines, we've got the Queen of Wands. That's my Divine Feminine card. So they are seeing you, Divine Feminine, as the most attractive option they have. And I'm not saying you're just an option, but they are incredibly drawn to your wisdom, your shamanic energy, your spiritual empowerment, your mastery of energetics. Even if you don't speak to your person in those terms, your person knows that you have a different code of conduct, that you seem lucky, that things don't seem to get you down, that you seem to have a different frequency to you. You don't play by the same rules as others, but yet you're so magical, is what I'm getting. So they're kind of fascinated because they don't have a reference for that in other examples in their life. So what can we see for Divine Masculines here with Queen of Wands? Yeah, perseverance. So they see your tenacity. They see that you are not easily dissuaded off of your path. You do what is needed. You follow the steps, and this moon energy, you seem to be guided by an unspoken loyalty. It's like a shadowy loyalty. I'm hearing they used to think that was iffy if it was trustworthy or not, but now they know that you have an internal compass, that actually this is straight and narrow, and you've got integrity, I just heard, but you've got goals, you've got targets, you've got preferences, you know yourself, and they see you staying the course. And this is really attractive. It's highly attractive because they know that they are not responsible for your happiness, that you're going to stay the course regardless of even how, I'm hearing obsessed, fixated, or into them that they have thought you were in the past. They still see that one layer deeper, excuse me, one layer deeper than that obvious pull to your masculine is this loyalty to inner truth that you hold. And so they see that spark in you. They may not have full illumination with the dark cat here, but they sense it. They sense that there is something there that is, I'm hearing it's helping with their abandonment triggers, their abandonment wounds, because by proximity, they are starting to heal through the feelings of whether you could reject them or not. Because you are loyal to self, they know that you are not toying with them. It gives that energy. And so they know, because you're going to stay the course and do what's best for number one, that they can actually trust you a little bit more, that you don't have a manipulative agenda. You don't have that. So they are really starting to see your wisdom that way, is what I'm getting. What is this doing for the intimate connection? Ace of Candles. So this is the soul spark. It's in the inverse. Let's read the guidebook. Overexcitement can lead to unplanned consequences and misadventures. So it's interesting because here is the Ace of Wands and this Queen holds the wands. So your counterpart might have tried to get ahead of themselves and you took that lurch in hand somehow energetically in the physical, through a communication, through an action. This could be a past scenario they're thinking about, could be something that's happening right now, but they've seen you put the brakes on something that could have been haphazard. That's what I just heard. So they've seen you stay calm and carry on when even they wanted to get ahead of something here. Fascinating that that came out. Okay, Nine of Swords going forward in the inverse. This is our anxiety card. In the inverse like this, we are doing things to eliminate anxiety. It's actually a calming, cooling effect. I don't know why I'm hearing refrigerant like in herbal medicine, but we're getting that right now for some reason. So there is like it's like a compress, there's something that's come in and there is a deep healing I'm getting there, that there's a cooling of the energy. That's why I'm getting that archetype. It's a cooling of the energy so that we don't have to burn the candle at both ends or have it burn out too quickly. So yeah, both are realizing we can slow down and enjoy the process, that there is some kind of recognition that there are these needs for healing. It's like the two are now not taking this stuff personally and just honoring the unfolding of it naturally. So what can we see for the feminines with this Nine of Swords, anxiety being calmed, cooled? Wow, the Devil, the hot and heavy passion, that fell out in the past. So look at how the feet were on fire. It's like the movement forward was too fast. And so feminines have learned not to pressure the masculines, and this is coming from the reality that the feminines are not feeling like they're going to run out of time or have to prove or have to chase. There's something grounding here, and so the feminines aren't needing to be so speedy to move forward. This is because there is a calming of that intensity. I believe that's because the masculines are having more of a staying power. They're not running as much. So yeah, and for the masculines, let's figure out what this Nine of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, they're coming to different truths right now, and it's seeing you, divine feminines, as not having these agendas that would actually promote a speed wobble. You're really in your leadership. Queen of Wands is a leadership, and it is a spiritually realized leadership, and it's an empowered, truly empowered leadership, a wholeness. And so therefore it's not a neediness, like there is not a need from the masculine here. And so they're feeling the pressure is off. They're starting to understand what that is like, that is a more healed way of interacting. It's not a codependent way. There's a neutrality coming in for the masculines. And this is calming the anxiety because they used to not know whether or not there was an agenda here that they could get behind, whether there was too much pressure. Because it's such an intense chemistry, it feels as though there's so much attraction that they could very much lose themselves. And they're starting to trust this connection a lot more because they know that you're not going to actually do anything in this connection that would promote conscious losing oneself or binding them into losing themselves. It's like you've got their back, you've got your back, you aren't in it to bind. Beautiful message. Okay, so let's see where the divine masculines are at. Or should we do energy? Yeah, let's do the energies, the common energies of all of the different typical things I do with the readings. I'm going to get where these ones are going to be the feminines cards, and there's a deck for masculines, and where the energies are going. So we'll see both sides of the dynamic, where each are consciously seeing the connection, thinking of each other, feeling the connection in the heart space, feeling for each other. What are the things that each counterpart is experiencing at this time? What are the energies? How are each interpreting? And what's coming up going forward? Wow, I'm actually being told to get some support cards for the couples involved here from what we see. Divine Masculine and Discernment coming up. That's interesting. A lot of blue on those cards for communication. So this is a beautiful time of being able to discern frequencies and have educated conversations, taking action, but also balancing that with wisdom. Okay, so conscious mind for the connections. We have discernment, again, discipline and order, different decks. So there's a lot more whoa, whoa, whoa kind of energy, and really looking at the vibe under the surface, like, and seeing things that are beneficial. So it's not so much about the surface level or the image of things anymore. It's really about the guts of it. And that's a funny way of saying trusting the gut instinct, but now it's not just trusting the gut instinct, it's actually understanding the merit in why we have a gut instinct or why our heart is telling us something. It's this wisdom and mastery that can now translate that gut instinct or that uncertainty or the certainty and be able to now give voice, communicate what that feels like for each, what that truth might be for each, what the intrinsic motivations might be from each side. So we are really getting this ability to create order out of chaos. And we've been getting these bridging kind of energies lately where we're learning how to communicate and bring discernment, mutual discernment in, so we can have true roundtable discussions and negotiations and conversations. How are the feminines experiencing this? Knight of Wands. So the feminines are putting the brakes on the passion. They're not going straight for that hot and heavy sexual pull anymore. And it's really, there's this mastery. This is the Knight of Wands, which is not a Queen of Wands. And that's how the masculines are seeing the feminines right now, as the Queen of Wands, because they've been able to take it slow, to calm down, to hold their horses with this passion and want to discern and have discipline and bring some order to the intensity here. Masculines, Nine of Cups. They're wishing. They know that the feminine is... What I just heard is the divine masculines are understanding that the feminines actually want them now. You know, sometimes we get that card... I wonder if you could care, or those kinds of things. The masculines are understanding, this is high level flirting, I just heard, that because you're willing to take it slow and really invest in this discernment of frequencies and this deeper layer, they are now understanding you mean it. You actually have their best interest at heart. Where are things going? Yeah, this is a nice card of being able to work on it. Masculines here are looking at the 3D. So there might be things with work scenarios changing up. This is also, I mean, it's the Eight of Pentacles, but we have the 5 here, which is the 5D, the energetic backing that fuels the 3D, the considerations behind the scenes. This is also the separation. This is maybe holding a little bit of space because the 3D and the 5D are both represented here. So it's like masculines are working on this whilst aware of the backing energy. And so feminines, you're aware of it too, because you're not rushing things in the physical anymore. There is this bigger picture going on. So this is in the conscious mind for the counterparts at this point. Masculines are starting to see the wisdom of the feminines, and feminines, we're starting to see our own wisdom becoming. And discipline. What can we see for the conscious mind for each counterpart? Oh, we were supposed to get a card. Sacral chakra. So that's the sexual pull again. We've got it in the inverse, but Orange Flower of Life supports our ability to flow with our desires and stimulates our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our life. So we're flowing with calming the sexual pull for a moment to set up some financial or manifest success and abundance. So that's financial, material realm strategies. There's a putting the passion on the back burner right now to be more practical and grounded with material realm considerations. This is getting real, people. How beautiful is that? Okay, so about each other, adenine and thymine, duality, contrast, trust, and balance, right? So we are demonstrating and modeling trust for each other here. There is some sort of a deepening understanding that these counterparts are trustworthy. There is a show of trust, mutual trust being established for the feminines. Yeah, they're wishing for the real thing deep within. We just had the 9 of Cups for the masculines. So there's this feeling of like the masculines are now acknowledging the feminines actually want them, not just the image of them or the superficial things. And the feminines are feeling that reflection, that ricochet back and forth here. Masculines, King of Cups. So they're starting to open up their emotions. The King of Cups in the inverse like that is the beginnings, the trickling, the pouring out, the tentative expression based on this growing trust. There is a beginning of more emotional availability, getting in touch with feelings. It's starting. There's trust here, and now the authentic, real masculine is starting to be expressed. Oh, where is this going in the near future? Oh, masculines are going to be cutting the feminines out of some kind of misconception. It's like beginning to move this stuff forward. Masculines are here to say, don't get all up in your head. It's okay. I'm starting to show up. And so the feminines have been in a lot of anxiety and feeling trapped and powerless in that shadow aspect because we've felt the love, but the masculines have been running or in denial. Here the masculine is saying, well, you know, there's something they're doing that is demonstrating that the feminines don't have to be so wrapped up in the mind like that. What is the advice? Consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so we can include them in our reality. So we're beginning to factor in more factors that are unseen. Intention, motivation, truth. We're going to be sharing these things so that we can get on the same page and have educated action, have authentic action, have mutuality, reciprocity going forward. Yeah, and so we're wanting authentic inclusion of the factors in our reality. We're not just wanting to do things for show or wishful thinking, all that. We're actually wanting to incorporate as much awareness as we can in our decision making going forward together. Beautiful. What can we see for the heart space? Cellular light, bioluminescence, self-illumination, and simplicity. Yeah, so we're able to now temper out the feeling like this is a fragile, fickle kind of connection. There's much more trust being established here, much more open communication being established here, much more opportunity to focus on what really matters. So there is this new beginning. This is a foundation based on simplicity, consciousness, light. How are the feminines experiencing this? Card of separation in the inverse. So there's a coming out of separation. There's a movement towards bringing that unseen energetic knowledge of this connection and translating it into practical application here. So feminines, I'm feeling that the feminines are starting to have enough mastery with identifying the energetics of these connections so that it can be conveyed in layman's terms. It doesn't have to be through a woo-woo paradigm anymore. It can be shown in grounded, mature, wise, patient, solid choices. And that's the backing. There's more simplicity coming in. It doesn't have to be, you know, I think you're my twin flame. No, that's neither here nor there. This is, I have our best interest in mind. I want success. I want you to be successful. I love you. I'm happy for you. I want you to have your best life. And likewise. So this is a different way of translating the lessons we've learned on this journey into these connections. It does not have to come through a specific prejudice or paradigm. Masculines are keeping it simple by Page of Cups. There's a surrender to these connections. There is a dropping of resistance, and there is a little bit of idealizing the feminine, because we saw that Queen of Wands where the masculines are understanding that you are somebody that's cracked the code, and it's not just an outward show that you're taking care of your own happiness. They now see that you are showing up and demonstrating that, and now that is like incredibly sexy. I just heard the masculines are really attracted to that, and they're like, teach me more, show me more kind of thing. Where is this going? Yeah, empowerment, King of Wands. So this is bringing out the masculines' own soul spark, their own authentic soul aspect. They're starting to begrudgingly feel like this is moving forward, even if they didn't anticipate it in the past. It's like, there's a new beginning. This is Newt, or the salamander. There's a new beginning sitting on my hand, but I'm not going to look at it too hard right now. It's in my peripheral vision. I'm just going to stay the course. That's the feeling I'm getting here. They might not feel fully connected to it yet. They haven't got their hand on their own passionate claiming of it, but doggone it, there's a passionate new beginning potential here, and let's just see how it goes. It's the feeling I'm getting for the masculines, like the shoes were too big before, but this salamander probably is a genie that can like magically give me the right size shoes here. Oh, root chakra, this thing is grounding. Heck yeah. So the red flower of life stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on the physical plane, both in our bodies as well as the physical world. So I'm hearing that the masculines' bodies are going to be changing. They're going to be having more empowerment. So health is going to be ramped up. Some of them might be, you know, becoming more at home in their skin in some way. Changes, bodily changes. They might change up their routine so that they can feel more empowered physically. That might have to do with changing their money story, having better employment, making better choices, making more aligned money choices, not fearing what others would say as much. This is a very like coming into our own sort of an energy. Feminines too, this is like really you feeling safe because of your masculine, feeling supported. But this is your own internal knowledge that you would be okay with or without your masculine. You're whole on your own. So this kind of balanced wholeness coming in for each is really creating the ability to keep it simple together without having to have those convoluted hamster wheel karmic kind of debates or hashing things out. When people are in tune with what really matters to them, it's just a no-brainer. It's a given how to just, you know, this is what my needs are. This is what my needs are. It's very simple. Very simple. So we're getting into that kind of level here. What can we see for the heart space about each other? Neutrality, diplomacy, negotiation, philosophy, more communication, more sharing of philosophies. So because we're coming into not pushing agendas, we've got this neutrality going on. It might feel actually to both counterparts like feelings aren't involved, like it's a numb. In a lower this has been coming up in private readings lately. So in a lower vibrational assessment or energy, apathy, which is one of the lowest emotional states where we're pretty much flatlined, we're giving up, we're numb, we're overwhelmed, we've tuned out, we've disassociated. That is not the same as neutrality, but when we've never been in neutrality, we've never balanced out to the degree that we've fought our demons and become angry and then passionate, and we've been a crusader or we've been an ego or whatever. When we move up past that level of consciousness, we come into neutrality. And when we truly reach neutrality, it can feel like a calm before the storm. It can feel like we're numb. We might want to call it those kinds of things. We might wonder if it's boredom, stagnation. We might feel aloof. We might feel detached. If you can go into the middle of that and ask yourself, am I in a conscious objectivity where I'm aware of things, where I am considering things, where I care, but I'm not getting emotionally manic or volatile because of what I'm thinking about? You might be in neutrality. And that is, on the heart space, something that could feel devoid of feelings because we're so used to the karmic drama. We're so used to this roller coaster of a yo-yo effect, hormones, all these kinds of things. We're about to start rewriting what love really is in conscious relationship terms. But what I know is that it isn't the hormonal glue that sometimes looks like those passionate, volatile connections that are so dire with highs and lows and intensity and all of that. That's not love. That's haywire chemistry. When we come up out of that kind of plight or that developmental stage, we balance out, we level out, and now it's making sane decisions. Now it's actually seeing different factors and considerations that are for the greater good or a higher good. And that's a different sort of aesthetic even than the volatility of immature relationship, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's see, what are the feminines experiencing? So we've got this union energy in the inverse. And this is, feminines are seeing that their idea of union, 4 of Wands, 1111, that wake-up energy, it was premature. They had a skewed vision of it, and they're now back to the drawing board with that tower earlier on that shows that there is a whole new level of what union really means, or unity consciousness, than they thought when it was overly romanticized, maybe in underdeveloped or developing stages of the journey. So a lot of the feminines are becoming more realist, or are becoming realists on a new level, and seeing that there's still so much more to learn about true foundation, and taking it slow and feeling safe to establish a solid footing going forward. In the past, feminines may have felt like they were already in that solid footing, but one of the sure ways to know whether you're in that or not is whether you're able to want to take it slow and steady. For the masculines, we're getting 7 of Cups. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that this could go right now. And the masculines are understanding that there is, with the moon there is a deepest way to do this. There is a most foundational way to do this. So both are sort of looking at that very tender layer that's closest to our heart, that would be our most assumed, our assumptions, our most assumed imprinting, the deepest core programming that isn't necessarily of safety and love. These things are now able to be sort of seen together at this stage, rather than, there are some things we won't see about ourselves until we start coming closer with each other, that can only be seen in proximity to others. So there's that kind of a stage now where we've done all we can solo, and now this collaboration of starting to find ways to communicate with authentic languaging and genuine interest, and all of that is starting to come in. Wow. Oh, and look at that, twin flame level love. This is true reciprocity, mutuality, and there's that cat. It's white in this card, not black anymore, or the lighter cat is like these the beat of our own drum, that Queen of Wands with the darker cat sitting on her lap. That was the essence that the masculine's seeing about the feminine's motivations for putting themselves number one. Here, there is this peace treaty I just heard, where there is really like, I just heard the counterparts in the 5D saying to each other, good match, good match. Now we know we can trust each other. Let's get down to the real fun, the fun part, in this unity consciousness, and this purity about, so cats are the spirit animal of independence. And when we have this light-filled representation here, it's this light, pure sort of expression where when we're considering our own preferences and joys and the most beneficial things for each of us, there is a real sense of blamelessness and sweetness that comes in, because now we know that when we ask for what we prefer, that we're not being out of alignment, we're not being out of line, and we're not asking too much of someone, and we're not putting too much on anyone, all of that kind of a thing. So there is this newfound safety, trust, affinity, care, love. Okay, and direction at this time, Gaia. So reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother in the universe that birthed us all. This is like healing segregation mentality on the planet. And so as we come into unions, we have already healed within ourselves. We are now becoming the imaginal selves and healing as relationship modules. I just heard nodules. Anyways, then we can be of earthly good. And when we become a level 1 society, we're now focused on the cosmos and finding ways to unite, unify, bridge to the cosmos. But we've had to do this on the fractal levels within self, within relationship, within communities, within cities, within territories, within countries, within continents, within Gaia. We are getting there. What can we see for the manifestations going forward? Artistry, expression, community, and celebration. What a beautiful, flowing, unified reading. How are the feminines seeing this? Six of Coins. This is being able to give without needing to have in return, because that wellspring of abundance has been found within. So this love, you know, the feminines are being qualified to be truly of service into the world, because these balanced energies have occurred within self and within the connections. And now that's freeing the feminines up to work on that next level of community. How about the masculines? Page of Wands. So masculines are going to the altar. They're putting down the burden and asking, I just heard you've made a believer out of me, that there is some merit in meditating to discern or intuit higher guidance. The masculines are becoming much better at meditating. So I'm hearing that feminines, if you have noticed your masculine creating a new kind of routine in their life, that whether they know that they are meditating or not, that is what they have been doing indeed. What can we see? Yes, so we've got progress. Everybody is, well, I just heard there's no more needing to take damsels in distress to safekeeping, that this is now something that everybody has become more proficient in, and now we're working on helping the greater human community find progress. What is the advice here? Universal love. Yes. Wow, this is such a cosmic reading. Frequency of universal love activates our connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence. So our emotions are defrosting. It's now, you know, for all of us who have had mixed signals, haywire emotions, it's so beautiful to be in neutrality, because now we're going to be actually having accurate feelings for each other, justified feelings for each other. We're going to qualify the feelings that we're having for each other, and they're going to be dependable. We're going to actually know that when we feel something, it's trustworthy. When we feel something, it's accurate. When we feel something, it's founded. And so we're learning how to feel our connection to others and what is justified and warranted. That is stunning. What can we see for the actions we're all meant to be taking? Harmony, timing, rhythm, synchronization, and frequency. So when we can feel what is an aligned connection and what isn't, when we have justification, when we know the energetic reasons why something is an affinity for us, why there is trust, respect, honor, patience, you know, being able to leave things in the past and forgive. Like, there's just this amicable energy. When we can establish that with others, we are safe to have this harmonized interaction. We match in frequency. That doesn't necessarily at face value feel like lust or insatiable, gotta have it, hot and heavy kind of pull. It's so much more liberating. It's literally so much more supportive. What can we see for the feminines with this? Oh, I got two. King of Cups and Heartache. So this is that King of Cups in the inverse, like we had it for the masculines. So this is feminines. Get ready for your masculines to start expressing the heartache and the misconceptions that they've had. This is clearing the air, I'm hearing. So there is going to be a chance through this harmony. Just wait for the timing. As you sync up, people can talk about things in hindsight that was too tender or fragile to do at the time. And so there is going to be safety established where the masculines are then going to be, they will feel safe to express the things that they have bottled up. It's coming. So prepare yourself to be somebody who is untriggerable. If you're not there yet, if you're still jealous, envious, insecure, fragile, do the healing work. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you're seeing this message and you're still in that, it is happening for you. You are on that journey. You are on that track, and it's just a matter of time. Okay, for the masculines with timing rhythm. Oh, the Empress. Yes. So in the inverse like this, they know you're their Empress, but they are going to be building the trust to honor you as such consciously as they start opening up to you and becoming more emotionally available. So this is happening, and it's a matter of you holding that space, seeing you, Empress, for who you are, and creating a true desire to have fertility, abundance come in here that's not self-seeking. So the masculines are going to be opening up in the direct proportion that you can hold space unconditionally for what is unfolding without agenda, without attachment to outcome, feminines. You're doing such a good job because that is already coming in on these connections. What is the next energy? Wow, look at these two wounded healers, sort of comrades here, getting ready to put down all of the fight and just chillax, decompress, shoot the shit, whatever you want to call it. It looks like there's going to be like a lunchtime bell where everybody gets to go and chill and talk. Authority is the advice here. Authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So yeah, this is taking the reins of life by the hands. Each one has a rein here, and it's about moving forward powerfully, directed, and realized. Like, it's not just to be haphazard. We have real opportunity here to make mature decisions based on authentic understanding of the factors involved, seen and unseen, and the implications, the reasons why things are important, and the things we've learned, karmically speaking, that are not healthy, that are not productive. We now know first person, and we can be receptive, wise, and loving when we've created the foundation that allows us to do that together. What is the biggest challenge at this time? Moving too quickly, moving quickly, wanting to move quickly, acceleration, stimulation, excitation. It's going to get exciting, and that's going to generate a lot of awesome, innovative ideas. But this is the challenge. So for the feminines, impatience, not waiting, that it's happening now. For many with these readings, this is happening now. You may not even see it. Your masculines may be coming in as a page and tentatively. They may not be giving you all of the backing of what they've possibly been shown going forward, but there is something coming in here where it could move forward really quickly. And this is where the connections either blow away again and have another cycle of karma, or if we keep our wits about us, we can start to ground these permanently. And the sun, masculines are stepping into this full sun energy, and that can move things pretty quickly. So we did get the messages to begin with that the feminines are putting the brakes on certain passionate expressions in lieu of unfolding naturally, taking time, laying a solid foundation, all of that. So beautiful. What is the direction we can see? Wheel of Fortune. So there's still, even though it feels like it's speeding up, there's still divine timing at play. So that means it has to be good and right and true and in the best interest of all involved, actually, not just in theory, but also realistically. So that means if you know you still have to-do lists and things karmically speaking to clear out, keep doing that. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't start getting worked up or frustrated. Do what you need to. Buckle down if you have to. Get stuff done. Stay the course. And celebrate all of it, because everything that you do, that you have to do before you can fully enjoy these connections, is one step closer to enjoying these connections. What is the advice about this challenge? Communication. The blue flower of life supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance, right? So communicate and foster a sense of peace and balance in everything that you communicate going forward here. The challenge is creating a sense of peace and balance and not condemning ourselves even slightly that this means that we're numb or not feeling just because it doesn't feel intense. When we're establishing a foundation of peace, it may be elusive because it may not have the excited kind of energy that we're accustomed to having when we're not quite sure if something's right. But there is also the possibility that because it's moving forward, we're like, why don't I feel a certain kind of way? Why doesn't it feel manic? Why doesn't it feel more zingy at this stage? Like, if things are moving forward so quickly, shouldn't it feel a little bit more heightened or stimulated? And no, because when we're doing this for the long haul, in truth, it's gonna feel super chill. It's gonna feel supportive and wholesome, and it's not gonna just feel like crazy making that we're used to whenever we have these growth spurts. Mature growth spurts foster peace. What is the solution to this challenge? Enthusiasm. So not anxious energy, but enthusiasm. Perfect. It's so good. Chamber of exhilaration. So that's different than excitation. Excitation can be a nervousness. Exhilaration is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm comes from knowing. Excitation can come from anxiety. We are now switching into enthusiasm, which promotes genuine learning, generosity, and true fortune. So, everybody who's concerned about whether we have deep feelings or not, feelings are often misunderstood for emotional responses. Our emotions are there to guide us from suffering into balance, but our bonding, which is not the same as what we think of as feelings, isn't like, feelings don't create a long-term relationship on a solid foundation. Bonding over reasons, justified reasons for seeing the alignment and working with that does. Admiration, love, true appreciation does come through the process of implementing genuine alignment with each other. But it's not like karmic relationships where we deem those uncertain, intense magnetism to each other as the be-all end-all, but we have no clue what it is. This is different. We're moving into the knowing of what it is and the being sure and the understanding why. We're not so much in the animalistic things that get through to us before we have the consciousness to translate them. So there's a huge shift here. What is the feminine take on this? Yeah, King of Wands, really seeing your masculine as strong and capable and wise and a energetic, spiritual leader, having the capacity to get these concepts, to work with it. Again, taking the paradigm speak out of it and just, solid decisions based on conscious awareness of all factors involved that create and promote security, peace, long-term success, abundance, good, healthy choices, clarity, all of those things. See your person as somebody who has desired that and don't make it woo-woo feminines. What can we see for the masculines? 5 of Cups. This is continuing to see that when all the other mysterious things left and we have to grieve all the loss of those previous relationships, that this connection has real love and the sun's coming out and there's a glimmer, more than a glimmer of hope. The 2 cups are being focused on. The 2 shall be left standing. This is the true person, masculines, that you can actually carve out a future of success with, where karmic situations have all fallen away, because they were not based on this foundation of love. They were just based on manic unknowing. They were not based on truth, integrity, understanding, maturity, wisdom. They were based on wishful thinking and other things. What is this? Yeah, brand new leap of faith, brand new cycle. We've come through that judgment day energy. We've closed out the world and we're ascending into this uncharted territory. Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to the Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. These loves only come into union when we are qualified to serve our highest purpose, because we have our alignment and priorities straight. Get ready, everybody. This is stunning. Where are these connections going in the near future? Tranquility, patience, disillusion, Temple of Amethystia, meditation, taking it slow. We're letting everything fall away that is not productive. This is where peace is coming in. Here's that internal tower. So feminines, do that internal housekeeping. Get rid of everything that is not calm within you. What are the masculines being asked to see? Knight of Wands. So this is that passion. So don't be afraid to take it slow and let go of that breakneck, lustful, passionate stuff and really deepen. This is the swing into true monogamy, of true alignment, where you don't have to worry your abandonment triggers, your feminine's not going to ditch you. You're safe. You're safe to really unfold. You don't have to fear that if you're not sexually performing or focused on that the passion's going to die. This is a deepening. Trust the process, masculines. Trust the unfolding into real love. Everybody needs to surrender. This is an energy of just allowing it. So the fish has been leapt out of the cup. Some emotions have slipped and some things have been said now that's making this come into more of a real experience. Advice, miracles, 33. This came out in the reverse. So that means believe in miracles, everybody. So miracle supports our belief in ourselves as part of source, and therefore our belief anything is possible. So we're right in line here to start showing the world that we believed in the impossible. And look what we're doing. Here we are, we're doing this. We are coming into unions. Oh my goodness. This is like heartworm. Bye for now, everyone.